What's up, guys? Coach Vassar, thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, information is in the description to support me. Any feedback, appreciate that as well to help me grow and develop. We're going to be breaking down Sunday, May 11th. Happy Mother's Day. And then also repeats on Saturday, May 31st. This is going to be a timed-based run row workout, strength on the treads, power on the rower, and then endurance on the weight floor. Okay. As always, talk about the 2G and then the 3G. So for today on the treads, you have two blocks. It's always a 1 minute push and 1 minute base. Your goal is to keep your push as we throw in some low inclines to challenge your strength. For the rower, there's only one block sandwiched between your two tread blocks with two 1 minute all outs. Stay within 50 meters of your first all out distance in the second attempt. And then on the floor, we'll have three blocks with the Bosu, lots of reps, lots of core work, and lots of fun in this total body burner. Okay, so as mentioned, Bosu's on the weight floor, dumbbells. If you're able to put wipes out on the rower prior, I would highly recommend it because after the warm up, have the rowers wipe it down, they'll head to the weight floor because then the treads will get a fresh rower when they hop over there. Okay, so looking at the tread side of the template, we have a 9 minute tread block, 90 seconds to transition to the rower, 2.5 minutes on the row, 90 seconds to get back to the tread, and then they repeat the first block, but in reverse order. Cool, fun. So looking at this, the way it's gonna be set up, 1 minute push, 1 minute base. They'll have in total 5 pushes, 4 bases in block 1. First push is flat road. It also sets the tone. 6% or greater for the power walkers, increasing their walk speed as well. Joggers and runners, anywhere from 1 to 2 over their base speed, but keep in mind that we are at an incline, so probably staying closer to that 1 to 1.5 range would be smart for a majority of people. For the bikes and striders, the incline changes are very modest, so a change in the bike gear isn't really needed on each push. So just keep it simple. If anything, if people want the challenge, when they go to a full percent above, then maybe have them add a gear, okay? So 1 minute push, 1 minute base, 1.5 uphill push, power walkers 6.5% or greater, 1 minute base. Now it's a 2% push climb. Here you could try to encourage the ones that want the challenge to go 1 gear higher on the bike and strider from their previous push. So if they were 3 on their first one, now they try 4. They have the base, 2.5%, power walkers 7.5, bikes and striders match what they just did. They go back to base and then they finish with a 3% push climb. Power walkers 8% or greater. This one, bikes and striders, if they're not keeping the same gear, then let's go to 5 gears over base, okay? Because of the speed and incline, that last push will probably be borderline uncomfortable to very uncomfortable by the last 10-15 seconds. So they're probably gonna be very happy to get that 90-second transition walk and head to the rower, okay? Looking at the rower, there's only 2 minutes of actual work here. It is a rack and rest style. Stored programs, 1 minute countdown, 1 minute all out row, anywhere from 2 to 300 meters. They'll rack their handle, 30 seconds to catch your breath, and then repeat their 1 minute all out, stay within 50 meters, okay? This is also timed up with the weight floor as well. So just keep that in mind. When they finish that row, wipe it down, head back up to the treads. On the tread side for the second time, it's the reverse. So can they maintain or increase their push speed? Okay, so they'll start with that 3% push climb, back to base, 2.5 base, 2 base, 1.5 base, and then they actually go into an all out instead of a flat road push. So that's the only true all out of the day on the treads is at the very, very end. Another way to approach it for the bikes and striders to make sure that they are aware of what they're doing is as they are going between their pushes and bases, especially if they are adding gear, maintain RPMs because once again, they're trying to maintain speed for the treads, okay? Otherwise, if they're keeping the same gear, let's at least keep RPMs or increase RPMs as the inclines go higher, okay? Now, looking at the weight floor side, block 1, 9 minutes, you have a 3 movement back-to-back circuit, do all 3, rest, do it again. Block 2 is going to be a rep count situation of 1 minute of Bosu burpees, followed by a rest, and then repeat their Bosu burpees, stay within 3 reps. And then block 3 is another back-to-back superset, do all 3, then recover. So for the first block, we're gonna see a half kneel-in, single arm, low row, 12 on each side, paired up with the bridge hold, dumbbell close grip chest press, and then the Bosu back extension. So all 3 movements require the Bosu bounce your side up. All 3 use the Bosu in some way. For the first one, with that half kneel-in, single arm, low row, the setup for this one, we're gonna have one knee on the Bosu, and then the other leg is out in front. The video has them with the forearm on the thigh, dumbbells out here, get that stretch at the bottom, and then drive that elbow back. If they want a little bit more of stabilization work, they can take this back foot and lift the foot off the floor, because that is going to increase the instability of this. If they tap it here, keep that foot locked down, that'll help keep them stable. Same thing with the arm. If they take the arm off, now it's a little bit of upper body stabilization that they have to work on. So if you do both, it's even harder, okay? Bridge hold, close grip, chest press. That's the one where their shoulders are on the Bosu, hips are lifted up, elbows are in, they lower down, back up, and then the good old back extension. Back extensions, of course, is one of those highly debated movements. It is safe to do as long as you do it correctly, because we want to make sure hips are tight, feet are glued to the floor, and the back extension is from like the upper back as they squeeze through the thoracic to lift up their chest, rather than through pressing down into the lower back. Okay. Now for the Bosu burpee, it's a burpee. I mean, they suck. They don't like you either, but do them. But it's also a very functional movement pattern, because you think about it, what a burpee is you lay down and you stand up. And we do that every single day in our lives. If you are unable to stand up from the floor, then what are you gonna do, right? Are you just gonna lay there until you die? You gotta finish the burpee. So condition that. It's kind of morbid, but whenever I say that, my members know my humor and they always, laugh about that. The third block, goblet alternating transverse squat, followed by the 2-handed single dumbbell deadlift. So 2 movements without the Bosu, but then we use the Bosu for a core movement with that kneel-in hip thrust with the low to high chop. So this is the one where both knees are on the Bosu, want the feet tucked behind them, and then start in a seated back position. So from here, the hip thrust is squeezing the glutes to come up and back down, okay? At that top position, shoulders, hips, knees, straight line, quads engaged. And then, as I come up, dumbbell comes over the shoulder, and then control back down. Drive up and back down. If that's a struggle for people, they could do a kneeling wood chop from low to high, as such. And that's the 2G. Finisher, burpee with the shoulder press. So that's the one where they'll hop back, come up, and then they'll press the Bosu overhead. Looking at the 3G, block 1, block 2, very similar. They're gonna make some bigger jumps though. So on the tread side, 6.5 minutes, 1 minute push, 1 minute base to set them up. Then it's 2%, 2.5%, and then the bonus is a 30-second push at 3% incline. They have 90 seconds to recover. Now this is where it gets a little evil, because they'll start with that 3% incline, but now they go for 1 minute. Then 2.5 to, after the flat road base, 30-second all out, okay? On the rowers, we're gonna see 2 blocks as well. The first block is going to be a 300-meter build. So even though it says 150 push row, 150 all out, we want them to use the 300 stored program, okay? They'll rest, and then they hit the alternating reverse lunge to reverse lunge hold to ankle press. So that's the one where they'll step back, pause at the bottom, press a med ball upward 45, then come up, then the other leg, okay? We'll repeat that, check and remember distance, check and remember time every time. And I take that all back. I missed this part. They're gonna start with a clear screen. They're gonna do their build, they rest, and then do it again, and they'll add that distance on. So we're gonna see how far they get in 6.5 minutes. Then do that process again, but now it's gonna be a med ball single leg tricep extension, 5 per side. Same thing, start with a cleared out zeroed screen, do their 300 meters, rack their handle, do their med ball, pop back on, see where their distance is. They're gonna add 300 to that. There we go. Okay, and then on the weight floor, it is blocks 1 and 2, but they're gonna do 2 rounds of block 1, 2 rounds of block 2, and then do them all as one big block. And it's a single block for 14.5 minutes. So the low row, close grip chest press, back extension, rest, do it again. Transfer squat, deadlift, and then the low to high chop, rest, do it again, and then 1 through 6. And then same finisher with the Bosu burpee shoulder press. So at least they don't have 2 minutes of burpees on the 3G, so they could be thankful for that. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Coach it down.